What y'all need to do is make a documentary called Surviving Umar Johnson because most of y'all are victims, yo. Y'all not fucking supporters no more. Y'all are victims.
First and foremost, that I have the utmost confidence that my son is going to open the school. I'm disappointed in the way in which he's disseminating information about it. Definitely with the lack of transparency to the donors and those who truly believed in this mission. I will have to be honest. I personally don't care much for the conscious community, quote unquote, whatever that is. I'm still trying to find out what that truly involves. But what I've known, I've been extremely disappointed. And this is an example of it right here with this situation here. But also, I wanted to say that I think my son truly believes in what he's doing. I think he's not getting a bad shape from the community because I think he should be held accountable. Watch videos of especially young ladies, talking about how disappointed they are in what has not transpired just in the announcement of the school and the money. And I'm not going to sit here and say that he isn't responsible because he made himself responsible. I'm not here to put any kind of, as y'all call it, shade on him in any way. I am a person that donated to the school. I'm a disappointed donor. This is a public issue, not a private one. And the community has a right to be heard. I've seen some of the postings since January the 1st, and only one I have seen has been pretty vague, speaking about paperwork or something to that effect. I haven't seen anything since then that refers to the school and the money. I haven't seen anything. And believe me, I've been combing the internet probably 23 hours a day now since this started. Reason being, because I'm really disappointed, and I really feel bad for the people who have put the effort, the time, and the money into this, and to me, have not been dealt with respectfully.
Right. Why not, just pick up the phone, and call your son as opposed to, going out, in the public? Because I know that's a common question that people are going to ask you. Like, this is your, your son. Why don't you just call him and ask him, what's going on with the school? Can you expound on that?
Most definitely. Like I said, this is a public issue. And just because he's my son doesn't make it a private issue. I'm a donor like all the other donors. I want the same thing that he wants, or he says he wants for black people. So there's no reason why this has to be a son-father thing. I realize that because I am his father, it may give me a little bit more entry into certain areas that other people may not get. But ultimately, it's still a community issue. I'm a community activist. I believe in going out there, doing for the community, producing for the community, and complimenting the community. I do not believe in insulting, embarrassing, or demeaning the community in any way. And frankly, that's what I see what's going on right now. And as far as a phone call, my son and I haven't spoken in years. We've seen one another in passing. Last time I saw him was at my mother's funeral last year. But we don't have dialogue. And I mean, that's not unusual, especially in the black community as far as fathers and sons. So it doesn't have to be taken out of context. The bottom line is, he's a man, I'm a man. As a man, I want to get some accountability for where my money is. And understand something. This is our money. It's not his money. Okay? So we have a right to know where our money is, and it doesn't make us an enemy to him or his cause. As it appears to become the cost to me, that anyone that inquires about this money becomes, for some reason or another, an enemy to the cause. I'm not an enemy to the cause. I want the school to be built. I hope it produces the best for our children, but I do not like the way in which the people who have faithfully donated are being treated, including myself, about this.
Right. Do you think, that, what makes you think, I should say, that Dr. Umar Johnson didn't so-called scam the people? What makes you think that? Because in all accounts, it's been more than one date that's been documented where he, promised the people that he would, but either getting a school, announcing a location, something. It's been more than one. So what makes you think that he didn't, take the money and, run off, like they say?
Because he's my son, that's why. Ultimately, that's it. I do believe that he's been raised with some empathy for people. He wouldn't be doing his work if he didn't. Now, I don't know what came off the rails in reference to his planning or his logistics or the financial disbursement of this money, but I truly believe that he's capable of still doing this. What saddens me is the fact that for some reason, I feel a sense of dismissiveness from him or his group or his company or whatever he has in reference to the people and how they feel about not being kept in the loop about what's going on.
Right. You said earlier on, Mr. Johnson, that you were against the conscious community. You weren't a fan of the conscious community. Would you place your son, Umar Johnson, in the arena of the conscious community? If so, was that the beginning of you, the two of you guys fall out?
You're very perceptive. That's exactly when it began. And I do place him, as he says, one of the leaders in the conscious community. And I don't know truly, and believe me, for years, ever since that mess that happened a few years ago on YouTube, I've been just in awe as to what this conscious community is all about and what you're trying to produce. Because frankly, I don't see them producing anything. Sure, they may be informing. Everybody's getting the knowledge about their history. But I do not see, practically speaking, what effect it has had on these streets. I don't see what effect it has in our neighborhoods. I hear y'all call yourselves queens and queens, but yet you still run around here just profanity-laced conversations with one another, still calling women the B word, calling men the N word. So, I mean, I have to admit, I'm just in awe of this conscious community on the negative vibe.
Right, because we've heard Umar Johnson say on numerous occasions throughout the years that he's completely against the conscious community. He denounces it altogether. So it's interesting to me that you put him in the arena and that's the fallout. It's very interesting.
Well, let me ask you this.
Absolutely.
In the beginning, though, I thought that was his platform. I thought he was. Isn't RBG part of the conscious community?
I mean, I guess so. I mean,
and then he
not officially classified, but yeah.